I'm going to read a section from this book by Francis Schaeffer on Kierkegaard because I thought of it the other day and I wanted McMo to let me know what he thinks of it. This is the reason why I never really read Kierkegaard closely, but reading it again, it's not as disparaging as I remembered it being. So, Kierkegaard, the first man below. It is often said that Soren Kierkegaard, the Dane, is the father of all modern thinking, and so he is. He is the father of modern existential thinking, both secular and theological thinking. Our diagram now looks like this. He has a diagram of philosophers. Why is it that Kierkegaard can so aptly be thought of as the father of both? What proposition did he add to the flow of thought that made the difference? Kierkegaard led to the conclusion that you could not arrive at synthesis by reason. Instead, you achieve everything of real importance by a leap of faith. Kierkegaard was a complex man, and his writings, especially his devotional writings, are often very helpful. For example, the Bible-believing Christians in Denmark still use these devotional writings. We can also be totally sympathetic to his outcry about the deadness of much of the church in his day. However, in his more philosophical writings, he did become the father of modern thought. This turns upon his writing of Abraham and the sacrifice of Isaac. Kierkegaard said this was an act of faith with nothing rational to base it upon or to which to relate it. Out of this came the modern concept of a leap of faith and the total separation of the rational and faith. In this thinking concerning Abraham, Kierkegaard had not read the Bible carefully enough. Before Abraham was asked to move toward the sacrifice of Isaac, which, of course, God did not allow to be consummated, he had much propositional revelation from God. He had seen God. God had fulfilled promises to him. In short, God's words at this time were in the context of Abraham's strong reason for knowing that God both existed and was totally trustworthy. This does not minimize Abraham's faith shown in the long march to Mount Moriah and all the rest, but it certainly was not a leap of faith separated from rationality. I do not think that Kierkegaard would be happy or would agree with that which has developed from his thinking in either secular or religious existentialism. But what he wrote gradually led to the absolute separation of the rational and logical from faith. The reasonable and faith bear no relationship to each other, like this. Faith, non-reason, optimism, and the rational, pessimism. It is not our purpose here to discuss all that Kierkegaard taught. There was much more than this, but the important thing about him is that when he put forth the concept of a leap of faith, he became, in a real way, the father of all modern existential thought, both secular and theological. As a result of this, from that time on, if rationalistic man wants to deal with the really important things of human life, such as purpose, significance, the validity of love, he must discard rational thought about them and make a gigantic, non-rational leap of faith. The rationalistic framework had failed to produce an answer on the basis of reason, and so all hope of a uniform field of knowledge had to be abandoned. We get the resulting dichotomy like this. The non-rational and non-logical. Existential experience, the final experience, the first-order experience. And the rational and logical, only particulars, no purpose, no meaning. Man is a machine. Once we appreciate the development of modern philosophy in this way, we may note that though there appear to be many forms of philosophy today, in reality there are very few. They have a uniform cast about them. For example, if you listened to the defining philosophy as taught in Cambridge, and then turned to the existentialism of, say, Karl Jaspers, you might think there was no unity between them. But this is not so. There is one basic agreement in almost all of the chairs of philosophy today, and that is a radical denial of the possibility of drawing a circle which will encompass all. In this sense, the philosophies of today can be called, in all seriousness, anti-philosophies.